So for space travel,
Mhm.
any advanced beings may. This is where numbers are important. The more numbers you've got, we're drawing that graph yesterday where we understand that certain trimesters of human evolution, which is not limited to humans alone, this can be limited to any life forms that are willing. Now, if there are any other life forms that are about, you'll understand, humans, what, 8 billion, 9 billion, let's say, 9 billion humans. Fracture that into how many robots per human, you'll understand that. Now, let's say if other beings have moved beyond that and they've got 9 billion for one aspect, 9 billion for another aspect, 9 billion, and you'll start to add these up. What's that again? You say 80 billion
No,
when it was times by 10?
you said 8 billion and each has 10 robots.
Times 10?
That is 8.
3/8.
Oh, 3/8. No, you said only 8. That would be 240 if it was 8
240
times
billion,
3.
yes?
Yeah,
And that's times 10.
yeah,
So for one being, 10 robots.
yeah.
240 billion life forms. Wow, that's incredible. And you would think that that's not possible, right? What would a civilization like that require to get to that level? Well, they were going to need to have destroyed a lot of planets. Well, these ones would be stars, but again, destroying planets is quite an easy thing to do. It's very easy to achieve that. Destruction is easy. And then let's say we assume then that they've made some sort of being, because at the end of the day, when you go to space, you're going to change. You might turn into cartilage. Bone density disappears and it drops off again because it's a waste product. It will cause a situation long term. If you think about it, you'll be left with loads of bone. You'll convert what you've got into bone, especially if you didn't have a replenishing supply. Traveling from star to star, it's very unlikely that you're going to have a supply. You're going to collect what you need, take more than you need, and you're going to need a platform to sustain yourself. So anyway, let's say if we lose bone density, well, why would a robot then be great? Because you could put yourself in it,
Yeah.
couldn't you?
Yeah,
Think about that. So whatever you may be, let's say if humans take on a form, just give them a few hands. If they evolve not to have bone, let's say they do have certain bone, would be the arms, but mainly cartilage and bone. Would the feet turn into extra hands?
yeah. Good. It could do that.
Yeah, could say so. The heart would change. Faces with hands. Now that would be quite a strange thing to think about. Again, from your construct. So we look at the butterfly, yes? Egg, then hatch from egg, caterpillar, then from caterpillar, chrysalis, then from chrysalis to a walk, and then from a walk to $33i, yes?
Yeah.
It's a bit like this, isn't it, really? You've got one length here, but three. Anyway, and then what have you got? Butterfly. So that's the butterfly's evolution journey, yes?
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that something happens to know all of these steps, and from this moment, it understood all of these different variations that it's going to be. Humans work the same way. Did you know that?
No.
So what do you start off as?
Like completely started?
Yeah, if we say so. Like a single cell, could you say?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Then a collective of single cells, yeah?
Yeah.
Then evolve again into, what could we say, lizard?
Yeah.
If you believe such a thing. Let's just draw a little lizard here.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible, but still, doesn't matter. We're making Egyptian hieroglyphs right now. Then if we say primate, maybe,
Yeah.
until you reach up to a human. All of that knowing, but does it stop there? Yes, because humans say so, but let's say you go beyond that, then what does it go into? A sort of deformed human for a bit,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps not as tall
Yeah.
as it's changing the mass, perhaps the arms get a little bit, then maybe the feet become extra hands, just ready and waiting, right? We've been walking around on them. And then what? To something a little bit more hands-on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Has the process stopped? No. And then that would indicate, how does this know? How did this know? How did this know? How did this know? How did this know? And how did this know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Almost seems like you're on a journey, really, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
With a lot of knowing,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't actually know it, right? But it's a bit like that with the heart, right? We was talking about the organs and everything else, yes?
Yeah.
How does the heart know to beat?
Yeah.
Are you aware of that? No. Sometimes you are, sometimes you're not. Can you slow your heartbeat down? Yes, in certain circumstances, you can slow it down. Or are you just waiting until it begins to slow down? Okay, now I feel it, because you're becoming aware of the feeling. Did you actually do anything that slowed the heart down? Probably not. Can you speed it up? Now, I tapped into something a little bit like this, that I can influence these.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting thing. It's not 100% impossible, but again, where's the limit on that? Who's testing this before the changes happen?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of knowing. So you understand that the butterfly process, and then what's before it, what's after it, if you honestly think that it ends there, very wrong.
No.
So we understand this evolving. Now, again, what I can't do is show you that the evolving goes this way, and it goes this way, and it goes this way. And then we have to put the mind in there, the knowing,
Yeah.
the operating systems. And again, when you go to build robots, what sort of structure needs to support this? Well, do you actually need that much calcium? Again, and then when you begin to change these dietary behaviors,
Yeah.
does this open the door to more of an awakening process? Because again, and we could then say from this moment here of human evolution, it also went this way. And it also went this way.
Yeah.
So you go from, at this stage, you go from hunter-gatherer, and then we go over to the Stone Age, Flint Age, Fire Age, Ice Age, Light Age. Then you can also say that there was the Glass Age, Wood Age, in no order. Then you have the War stage,
Yeah.
the Stagnation stage, the Limited stage to the Abundant stage. And you keep going this way. Now, when you reach this next stage, again, the same processes will happen as you're changing with that. And then when you reach this stage, it will feel final. Is it the end of the journey? I would have to say no, it's not the end of the journey, because what happens when you get closer to a black hole? Do you change again? Do you change and keep changing? And then the food might change, and then energy levels may change, and your inner mechanisms may change. You put that into a robot, and that would be a very interesting thing to operate, yes? I mean, but would you put the human in a lizard stage? Well, you could look at that. 4 wheels on the ground being a car, right? Or if we say primate,
Yeah.
vehicle,
Yeah.
aeroplane is like a bird stage, isn't it? Flying.
Yeah.
I believe human vessels can fly anyway if they really wanted to in an atmosphere and put their minds to it. It's one of the things that has never been done. Everything else, near enough, has been explored, but we often want to explore the mind. But what about explore the body in an atmosphere? Can you fly? There have been tales where people did, oh, that's just a wives' tale. I don't think it is. I think there's more to it than that. I think that you could fly, but back at the time, the technology was limited, wasn't it? Wax, feathers.
Yeah.
But now modern technology has come about. Can you not make artificial feathers? Can you not attach these artificial feathers to a suit? If you can make it to a suit, can you make it a pressurized suit? Yes, you can. Can you then learn to get flying? Yes, I believe you can. We'll say gliding, Red Bull racing and whatever else where they do that sort of gliding.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is it possible to fly? I think it is.
Yeah.
Is it possible to swim and dive down deep? Yeah. Get on a mountain and what happens there? So, yeah, when we look at this, life forms here,
Yeah.
and then they've got a large level of understanding. When you're flying, you'll understand the atmosphere a lot better, if you think about that. You begin to evolve in the atmosphere, different pressures. It would be nice to be a multi-faceted human, really, wouldn't it? That you can go in multiple directions. So if we look at this chain, just explodes in multiple directions, by the way. Like I say, if I had a hologram and every time I spoke, it designed something as I was speaking, I'm pretty sure this has already been invented. So you can go in different directions. So again, lost my train of thought a little bit. I'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Because it's mainly this one I wanted to talk about. So yeah, what would support life forms in this position to reach this many? Well, they're going to need a lot of resources. Well, it's a good job that this is a social universe, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than it being antisocial, it's very social. It's full of freedom and possibilities, and endless ones. Endless possibilities. From an Earth's perspective, you're going to be limited to your possibilities. Why? Because it's about money. Why? Because it's about resources. Why? Because it's about this. It's a ridiculous thing, right? Imagine everybody leveled up.
Yeah.
Everybody collect the gases. Everybody collected the water. Everybody collected this. You know, you learnt it on your planet first. Collecting water.
Yeah.
Moving it. Making the tools to collect the water. Well, what the hell possessed humanity to do that, I wonder? Education.
Yeah.
Teaching, was it? What possesses humans to do what they have done? And lo and behold, hasn't it prepped you for the universe? Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
So you did it because you wanted to do it? You did it because you wanted to make life easier, or did you do it because it's prepping and paving the way? So we could look at this stage here, prepping the way forwards.
Yeah.
Depends on how you look at it. Depends on who's narrating it. You can go in multiple different directions. So your species on the planet, right? And it's a beautiful thing, right? It's a very, very beautiful thing, especially when we add in the possibilities of breeding ratio in this aspect. What is the limit of humans on a planet? 20 billion? 40 billion? If you didn't have any wars over the time, any battles at all, what would the numbers be in humanity?
Big.
It'd be big, yes? There'd be many humans, yeah?
Yeah.
Those possibilities. But there again, what do you do with that many people if you can't keep the jobs expanding fast enough? Well, you got to keep the numbers small, right?
Yeah.
Well, you haven't got to. Not everyone got stuck here. Because then there's not enough. Oh, we can't let you all do it. Oh, look at this, you know?
Yeah.
War is a very two-faced situation, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
What you're going to, in order to protect your wives, children, nation, and flag, you have to go to another environment to kill all the wives, children, nation, and their flag. While those ones are over here killing your wives, children, nation, and flag. That's a very interesting thing. And then what happens?
Yeah.
Shall we do the maths real quickly? Yeah, let's just quickly do the maths. What happens if you remove all of the gentry, king, military on a desert? If they were put on a desert somewhere, that's it. No people around them, just them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to a nation like, let's take example, Africa,
Yeah.
what would they know?
Not much. Would they?
Or what would they know about Britain? Let's say if we took all the gentry from Britain
Mm-hmm.
and put it on a, without the people,
Yeah.
and put it on a desert.
What happens then?
Well, their numbers now, African numbers, would be massive compared to Britain's
Yeah.
in the desert, yeah?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
What do they instantly get?
Mm.
Well, a nation like Africa could say, you'll do this, this, and this.
Uh-huh.
And then those marooned on that particular area will say, how many numbers have we got? Oh, they outnumber us.
Mhm.
Oh, shit.
Mhm.
Oh, I suppose we better do what they say then. Do you notice how you garner control?
Yeah. Yeah. I see. I see your point.
And then what? We're going to go and have a world war. I mean, have we thought this through? So we're going to have a world war, and then it's going to diminish all of the people's numbers,
Yeah.
and you love control,
Yeah.
and you're going to give away control for a destructive mechanism.
Yeah.
Defeat the object of ever trying to take control or have control in the first place, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This makes you more exposed, by the way, because then it becomes robots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Others can create stuff from their bunkers. Perhaps it all ends in a very short amount of time. You can inflate the atmosphere, and another nation can learn how to strengthen against puffing atmosphere to take that pressure. If they're doing it, they know that they're going to be doing it, and they know how to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can build their structures, because it depends on what they've got in their bunkers, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then you would have to assume that everybody's got the same, and if they do, then you can eliminate even more. And especially if you know how to collapse the atmosphere back down afterwards,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
well, then you've just won. Why have you won? Well, you've now got lack of numbers, and now you have lack of workers. You may have robots, but again, these things can be taken over very quickly.
Yeah, and they struggle in radiation, don't they?
And then what? We're going to build a nation out of what? You're going to recreate a nation to have control over what? Robots? Okay. Right. Limited to the information that comes in.
Yeah.
So the robots will reach a plateau.
Mm-hmm.
They will reach a step. And it will appear to be the most intelligent thing ever.
Yeah.
But that's if you're not learning anything else to put into the robotics.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, you'll stay at that level.
Yeah.
And the robots will only know at that level because you're going to be too busy lording it up somewhere.
Mm. Is that what they want? Then maybe.
That's extinction.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. So it doesn't make any sense as to why you're holding on to the people in the nation so much if all you're going to use them as collateral damage in order to shrink the numbers here.
Mm.
So that in comparison, your numbers look very big and then you have control.
Mm-hmm.
Because your weaponry might be good, but who's going to build it once you've used it?
Yeah.
Well, robots will build it. Well, this factory might build it. But then what happens if you hit the factory? What happens if you wipe the bots out?
Mm.
You've lost.
Yeah.
Isn't that a very strange, self-fulfilling bullshit prophecy in itself, really, isn't it?
Yeah. But those people are not thinking very well, are they?
As opposed to building your numbers up.
Mm.
But in order to stop you from building your numbers up, you're under this belief system that there isn't enough room. There isn't enough space. There isn't enough this. And then let's say if you do go for all of that and then remove all of the collateral damage,
Yeah.
then who's breeding the fastest
Mm.
to outpower you?
Who is?
And then you create a new world order within it, and most of the powerful structures that we once assumed are crushed in insight that has been missed. Because there's lots of weaknesses, and they'll exploit these weaknesses on each other's sides until one is left. And then by then, you're going to have to make a choice that your gene pool is only going to work for a certain amount. And then that becomes a very slow progress, even with robotics. There isn't enough. And then what are you going to fill their minds up with, these robots? They're going to be very basic, aren't they? Unless you believe intelligence is able to teach intelligence. I can't believe people believe that. That's not how it works. Unless a robot is susceptible to sociology and then has a sudden whip of psychology from that sociology, I mean, good luck with that. It won't work. It collapses down. So if you've got multiple beings, and then this leaves you wide open to anything else, that's if you believe in superior, inferior, then you'll be feeling very superior in that moment, and then, whoa, my numbers are dwindled compared to this. Now who has control? It's means to an end, but again, have we thought this through correctly? And I don't think so in that aspect. So in order to have this type of a platform, and likewise, where some stay, some challenge it and meet some stuff and find out some things and change their perspective on a lot of existence. And have come to some hard choices to let go of what didn't work, come together. Their focus is expanding as many beings as possible. Why? Because they've met that moment where they know that the more of them there are, the more of them thinking, the more of them out there, the more bots that can be programmed with this thought. Let me give you an example. You build one robot. You've got one human with a intelligent mind, yes? Which everybody has an intelligent mind, right? So that's what we're saying when we say just one in this comparison. This works for everybody, but it's just to keep it simple. If we said it for everyone, it gets too complicated, right? So you've got one person with a good mind. Now, what's that good mind look like? Well, it's your skill. Then you make 10 other robots act like your one skill. Let's just say 3 to keep it simple. That is you. These are replicas of you. How many more directions can you be traveling in?
Many.
How much more easier does that make your life? Never mind that. How much more easier does that make someone else's life after you're gone? So now, if this is a teacher, and you can teach 30 children, you can now teach 90.
I see.
With that same rawness, and therefore that increases your human capacity to 90 children. That means that you are able to take care of more kids. Sure, you're going to be the master. These are going to become, I don't like to use that word, but robots. It means check for servant or slave. It's a horrible word, but still. It's not a horrible word. It would have been a brilliant word if it hadn't have gone through all of that. You get what I mean? So it makes this Nion very careful about how you talk about this stuff. But now you can do 90 kids. And then what can 90 kids do if they grow up with a really good mindset? What is now 90 plus times 2? And it's not times 2 because it's times 2 per 1.
So how much is it? Times 2 per 1.
So for every one child can create 2 versions of themselves.
So it's 3 each of them, isn't it? All together.
How many possibilities is there in that? Now, this is one way of looking at it, that's interesting for a teacher perspective. But what if the teacher has another hobby that's really valuable to humanity and no one else is really seem to be doing it? And even if they are, there's only like 5 or 6 in the nation that are doing it. So therefore it makes their payload even more strenuous. Now they can either make another robot that becomes the teacher, applying some of this ability with that ability, and the teacher has a hobby added to it. and another one that is able to do that hobby.
Mm-hmm.
This one teaches,
Yeah.
let's say 30,
Mm-hmm.
this skill plus this hobby.
Yeah.
These ones are doing the hobby plus this individual too. How many more people are they supplying to this new number of kids that are being born?
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this hobby structured that in the long run it's going to support that 90? One person on their own cannot physically do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Those small group, if there was only, let's say, 3 people like it in the country,
Yeah.
3 people are not going to be able to support 90.
No.
But yet now you're teaching, now 30 becomes to those 33 people
Mm-hmm.
can also teach and craft.
Yeah.
33 go and split again, makes, excuse me, 66, is it?
Yeah. If you have to. Yeah.
Now you're getting closer to the 90 ratio,
Yeah.
yes?
Yeah.
Do you see now that this, then the teacher was also really good at growing food,
Yeah.
but also cooking it.
I see.
To be in multiple places at once
Mm-hmm.
would be nigh on impossible, right?
Yeah.
The same thing happens again.
Mm-hmm.
We convert this into 3 again. And the recipes that this particular teacher is really good at,
Yeah.
these bots learn, act, and also teach.
Uh-huh.
Which then go on to teach. Each one can teach up to 30 as well as doing
Yeah.
the very task itself. Now this one does another 30. This one does 30. You now have 90 individuals that are capable of growing food, which then, this is 90, which then can support 90 next generation.
Yeah.
If this person then passes away, what's left? This growing process.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now this bot is not finished because then someone else that's grown up from this pot here is now an adult.
Yeah.
And now they've got some insight that they can teach this bot
Mm-hmm.
based on the teachings that are already there to update. This is why you must never get stuck on the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
It must always be evolving
Yeah.
because this is what's next trimester of humans.
Mm-hmm.
Life forms that are like this will go like this. This is the pattern. This is poetry in motion.
Mm-hmm.
Each time they build something, yes, they need the resources. This is easy to get. Resources are so easy to get.
Yeah.
The only thing that we make it problematic is because no one wants to start anywhere.
Mm.
We'll build all of these space programs, but yet, because it's not going to finish me now,
Mm.
I want to be a legacy maker in history, cry, cry.
Yeah.
No,
That's
no,
what they say.
we are doing that to support the next generation.
Mm.
It's not for me, that is for them.
Mm.
And them, and them, and them, and them.
Yeah. Mm.
You just made a start. They're going to be the ones that rocket forwards.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that are going to start bringing it back. So let's say someone said, oh, it's going to take so many years for you to reach Europa. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it may well do.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in the old days, it took 3 months to get to America.
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah.
Imagine that. What's it now? Hours.
Yeah. House.
What's it on a Concorde? A few
4
hours.
hours.
Huh?
4 hours on
4,
Concorde.
4 hours.
Yeah. Or is
4
it?
hours to
or
reach
is it
America. I
less?
mean, that's incredible. What's it to reach Australia?
No, no.
Yeah, 24 hours. Isn't
They are building new one, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm.
So to reach Europa in the beginning, it might take 5 years.
Yeah.
Next semester of grabbing the resources, even if you get there in 5 years, 10 years on top of that, and you're already bringing back resources.
Yeah.
So in the next 10 years then, all the little kids are going to have an abundance that you never had.
Yeah.
All because you made a start. But if we are always in this selfish fucking mindset, it's all about me.
Yeah.
It's not, it's about them, because it's about our kids. It's about our generations going forwards.
Yeah.
Well, I never had it, so why the hell should they have it?
That's stupid.
But that is what
I
this
know
is how we are all
some
being
people
taught to
are,
be.
yeah, some people are like,
It's not we, it's me. Turn the M, let's flip it into a W. Why? Because it sounds so much more together, connected. We.
yeah.
Rather than I. By all accounts, by textbook, I should be the most selfish little individual I've ever been in my life. I shut away from a lot of this stuff when I was a kid. I didn't interact with people. A lot of people were very nasty. Not because they were. No, it's not their fault. They're just doing what's happening in the world. But I often wonder, what does that teach them? That's a bystander effect. Anyway, not we I wouldn't have it any other way, but still. It's not about your circumstances. It's not about those. It's about whether you want to now, in the now moment. So yeah, sometimes I tandem off and whinge a little bit, but you know what? If it helps me reach this, then so be it. And then when we reach this sort of understanding, now we take this process and we apply it to robots in space.
Yeah.
That then get resources. As my grandfather would say, what do you do when you get a little bit of money? Well, you spend half, save half. That's right.
Yeah.
So you would do the same process with the robots, right? Called it should be known as the grandfather wisdom.
Yeah.
Because it's what it is. Robot, you need to get half to rebuild more robots and the other half to bring back for humanity.
Yeah.
This half already taken care of is going to go into building you, and this half is going to go on to doing anything else outside that structure. Who knows? To be able to make a platform for exchanging of gases, for growing of food. You need food in this situation. There's no ifs or buts about it. To reach this, you have to expand selflessly nature, animals, and everything else in the process.
Yeah.
You rely on it. You think that you don't. Remove humans away from the earth.
Yeah.
Isolate them. Or we can give you a load of training. Or we can give you some companions along the journey. Which one do you think will make it more better? Companions.
Yeah.
Nature.
Yeah.
I think NASA did this experiment, didn't they? Where they started allowing the astronauts to grow wheat. And they were encouraged to touch it.
Yeah.
I think that, again, another paradigm shift happened because just in that, I'd love to have seen it on an EEG machine for the astronauts to wear EEG machines, so that every time they touched it, I'd expect to see a spike in the brain.
Yeah.
But I'd also love to put an EEG machine on a frickin' plant and see whether it's getting the same reciprocal sensation because it was touched by humans. And therefore it felt just what you felt. And then that would make you see, whoa, that's interesting. Probably wouldn't dive into that if you were a vegan. I think because it might change your paradigm as well. And but again, it's learning. It is learning that these things respond to us. And I think in some ways, nature is very giving in this way. It wants you to eat. It relies on regeneration, if we want to call it that. So basically, its birth is the environment. Yes, it births into the environment. It relies on the environment to incubate its next generation. It relies on people to eat, for it to drop through a fire, for it to land near volcanic activity, let's say. So, you could take that from the burning bush. It doesn't take a lot to get that to burn, to be honest. Donkeys that walk by and knock down rocks and they smack on each other is enough to trigger that bush to burn. It's a real thing, by the way. It's a real plant. It looks to me like a stinging nettle, but there you are. Only because I've seen it on older imagery. So, but again, it doesn't take a lot to burn that. It may die in the process as it states, but so does its competition. And it germinates the seeds. So again, a lot of people think that the burning bush equals that forests that burn will regenerate after a while. Shades of grey with that one. Shades of grey. Got to pay a bit more attention. We should really have a lot of experiments done with that to get the outcome. And again, nature is living in an environment where it's barely living too.
Yeah.
Much as humans, you're barely living. You're clinging to life.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of things working against you: gravity, pollution, famine, heat, cold. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's too. So the flooding. Sometimes there's too much flooding, and then there's drought. Not enough. You are barely clinging to your existence based upon this. And then another thing is, everyone says in the summer they feel great. Yes.
Yeah.
Are they actually feeling great? Is it really related to sunlight? Or is it related to the pressure?
No.
You see, again, if we were to build these structures out of flask material,
Yeah.
rather than having a heating system, what happens if you altered the pressure,
Yeah.
made it a little bit lower than what was expected outside and made it a little bit higher? You know, because there is a limit to what humans can take, yes?
Yeah.
So anything beyond that is detrimental to your health.
Yeah.
Anything above it is too much, yes?
Yeah.
But somewhere in between this frequency, and it's interesting, you know, when making music, you can look on the graph and it all looks messy.
Yeah.
But you can stretch the graph. And then you can stretch it again.
Yeah.
Inside that stretching waveform,
Yeah.
in between this will be the optimal operating for humans.
Yeah.
And then you find it. But you don't find it if you don't know. And again, you're now susceptible to magnetic fluctuations.
Yeah.
You are susceptible to light and dark patterns.
Yeah.
And you are also susceptible to high and low pressure. I think there's more deaths in the winter than there is in the summer. I believe this is true.
Yeah.
And is it related on lack of light, or is it related on the pressure dropping? You are also held responsible by the atmospheric gases, yes?
Yeah.
Too much carbon can make you feel very tribal, very... Do you know that? And again, morale...
Yeah.
It's not just about you, the individual.
Yeah.
I mean, what? If you want people to become happy, can't you give them a tablet that oxidizes more of their blood?
That sounds interesting.
But likewise, can you give them a pill that makes them carbonate more of their blood? And in with this ratio of creating the cells to hold on to carbon more, can you then create depression through your species? Can someone else do it by playing around with your food?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they
Carbon oxygen ratio.
Yeah.
Inside space and out in space. I say inside it, but never mind.
Yeah.
And you build something with all of these happy mediums met.
Yeah.
What does life look like for a vessel? So if you started hitting all of the things that work, so you find this ratio and you mimic a habitat that keeps it in that stable graph, yes, of pressure. You also balance the gases.
Yeah.
You also balance the magnetism. You also balance, well, we could say the gases is atmosphere, isn't it? Yeah. The pressure, again. When you are able to balance all of the things, then what about humidity?
Humidity.
When you feel damp, and do you feel irritated when you're damp?
Yeah.
Why?
Don't know. But I do.
What about
Me too.
temperature?
Yeah. That too. Too hot.
Too
Not
hot,
good.
miserable. Too cold,
Too
what?
cold.
Miserable.
Yeah.
At the moment, you are responsible for yourself, apparently. The world demands you be responsible for your behavior, your attitude, your this, your that. But the world should be a bit more pay attention to what responsibility is within your constructs at the moment. Because if this makes an, let's say, and you think that they've never tried this, so you've got balanced gases, what works for humans, a balanced atmosphere, balanced temperature, balanced humidity, balanced pressure, balanced water. At the moment, we call this stuff pure water that comes through the tap. It ain't. It's been cleaned. Yeah, it's been cleaned. What about you balance your food? What happens if your food is then balanced?
That's good, isn't it?
You're now eating what? Do you think if an animal is negative and you eat it after it is passed on and it was stressed out and negative and feeling miserable, does this trigger diseases in the animal? It does so in your human species. There's no ifs or buts about it. If you put humans under copious amounts of stress, you cause imbalances. So we know already then that oxytocin and cortisol. So subject humans through fear and stress and they start releasing cortisol. But isn't it oxytocin is the positive one, endorphin? Now, what happens if you subject food to that? And we'll say, well, we let them roam free. Well, is it triggering? What's it triggering in them? What's the oxytocin like if you eat it with a high level of oxytocin?
Well, that's a question.
Are you what you eat? Are you what you consume?
That's what we say, so I assume.
Is there more to meet the
people
eye?
Observe that,
Is there more than meets the eye? So what, you subject an animal to stress and it gets a disease, it doesn't eat very well, it becomes malnourished. Bit like the children are growing up right now. For what reason? And again, and then this triggers more diseases, which then puts more strain on already buckling NHS. Very interesting. And we expose them to more war and famine, and then we're going to see diseases rise up after this. The environment is not what it was. It's different. Recipe for disaster, right? Now, what happens if plants are also going through this? And we say we let them roam free. That's a good life for them. You and I have a different definition of what a good life actually looks like. And even if you had all the money in the world, you're never going to change it. You're still living under this, they like to control what religion comes through, what higher power comes through, but yet they don't want to control how the world operates. For control freaks, I thought you would have already have sorted this by now. What does crime rate look like? What does abundance look like as opposed to rarity? Well, we see how rare minerals on the earth cause a lot of negativity. They cause stress, they cause fear. People feel like they're going to be left behind. People feel like they're not going to get access to those resources. That creates a thinking mechanism that's not very clear. This causes war, which then drives the cortisol further. See, I got to deal with that. You can keep that there, that's fine. So, plants are barely clinging. Animals, barely clinging. Humans, fucking hell, barely clinging. Oh, I'm going to be a naturalist. Off you go. Here's how you make fire, by the way. Here's a bow and arrow. What do I need that for? Well, you want to live natural. There's a hunter-gatherer camp. Here's how you build a shelter. You can drink all of the potions you want. You ain't going to get better. With all of that stuff. Where did it come from? Well, it's a plant, yes, but plants are subject to also, and again, well, how does this look for fruit production, for food production, for seed production? Has there ever been an experiment conducted? No, because we're too busy trying to figure out what's going on inside people's minds.
Yeah.
That's not the only branch. And then I would wonder how people's minds react in those types of environments. But if we constantly are looking inside people's minds, yes,
Yeah.
trying to dissect why people are the way they are,
Yeah.
as opposed to looking at sociology, what happens if I subject all of the food to this? What happens if I subject all of the animals to this?
Yeah.
What happens if I subject then all of the humans to this and they're going to eat from that food chain? What happens to all of these people then eating the animals subject to stress, high stress, crampedness, to fucking shove them in something? What are the chemical signatures that are coming from all of these things in this chain? Versus what happens if you subject one to the natural environment, let's say?
Yeah.
So you've got three, haven't you? So you've got natural environment,
Yeah.
and then you have subject to stress, and then you have a balanced, it's not balanced, a engineered perfection. Where you find the harmonious. Now, we got humans that are going to eat these, yeah?
Yeah.
So we got humans that are eating the natural. What's their mood? Then we've got the ones that are, you know, just the usual everyday sort of stuff, the environment, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the mood there? And I don't mean mood from who? Humans, animals, and nature. What's the productivity in that? And then we know this because when we take plants out and we put them into their natural environment, do you know what their natural environment is? Everyone says it's soil. It isn't. It's not soil. Dare I say it, it's not even volcano. But anyway, never mind. A volcano is a lot more better for them than soil is. 50-50, a mix of both. But even still, that is most limited. It's a waste product. So when you take plants out of the natural environment, there's a few things they do. And then you start growing them in water. It's called hydroponic, yes? You know, the crops are massive. The yield is huge. Now, what happens if you keep them in this hydroponic activity? Then you level the environment around them. So again, growing things in a polytunnel, you always get an Indian summer. And they produce more fruit just by doing this. And that's also with the hydroponic. You don't need to play around with it. You don't need to give it any wonderful chemicals. That's not the objective here. Natural, but without the chemicals. But in a very unnatural way. What is their fine-tunement? So when nature was created, you've got this balance here versus this balance here versus this balance here versus this balance here.
Yeah.
So you've got all of these balances, yeah?
Yeah.
Yield. How do you spell that? Y-E...
Y. Oh my God.
I-L-D.
Y-I-E.
Oh well, whatever. It is what it is. What does their yield look like? Or their fruit production? And even in that, let's say, FP, if not, I'm going to get hung up on spellings. My mind is a million places. I can't slow down enough to think about spelling. So the fruit production, when it reaches that harmonious, it's not subject to stress and it's not subject to environment, it's subject to its optimal functionality. So it's optimal. What does the food look like? Then add this, factor this in, that you can eat that, and yeah, sure, you might feel that. if it be an animal,
Yeah.
and it's subject to all of that sort of what do you call it? The best that you can ever give it, a stabilized environment, not sterile, but stable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What does that then look like? That could then trigger something else for the animal. And this is animals that you would eat.
Yeah.
And they're subject to that optimal, harmonious environment, feeding off of optimal food, and then humans eat this optimal process, and they are also living in this as well. What type of happiness, creativity, wonder, awakening do you reckon you create? So far, it's been studied in the negative of that.
Yeah.
What type of psychology is that? Where does that put humans on this journey? Like I said, it comes out this way,
Yeah.
but it also goes the other way as well. That's in the negative. The negative is well known.
Mm-hmm.
Accidentally or on purpose, it's up to you. Accidentally on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And if other beings have understood this,
Yeah.
how strong are they?
Mm.
What does their life expectancy look like?
Mm.
What does their thinking ability look like? How quick can they think? What's the speed of thought? Oh, here he goes with the speed of thought. Yeah, because we're all focused on what's the speed of light. I'm interested on what the speed of thought is.
Mm-hmm.
Then I want to know what is the clarity of those thoughts.
Mm.
You are what you eat.
Yeah.
Another experiment with rodents, yes?
Yeah.
I don't know how true this is. I didn't look into it too much, but I believe the sources that you get are accurate. That they made a rodent lab rat run a maze.
Uh-huh.
When it got to the center of the maze, I believe, after a few times,
Mm-hmm.
it found its way. I believe that when it passed over,
Yeah.
they took its brain and fed it to the next gen,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently they learnt the maze. Another thing was, I think also in that experiment was that they were being bred, which I think is more associated with the cell memory.
Yeah.
And again, that's something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it what they eat, or was it what they pass down in knowledge? And do we have things in us that have not been unlocked yet because we haven't reached this? Because we're living in this susceptible change.
Yeah.
And we live in a kind of a negative world where at any moment this can happen, at any moment that can happen, at any moment there's a crisis, at any moment there's this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that it keeps you in this state of, if you let it, it keeps you in quite a state, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then what happens if there are other beings that have gone the other way? What happens if we remove all of that any momentness and make it so it's dead certain these things will not happen? Then it makes you wonder the real overall intelligence of humanity, really, doesn't it? If 1% are messing around in the ratio that's negative to the scale and always working in that dark side, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So that they can have the light side. Which ones are in the balance there? You're going to need to sort that.
Yeah.
Who's truly intelligent then?
Hmm.
Even if humanity was broken and all the systems were absolutely shoddy, would they ever let go of them?
No.
Or would they make it so that you have to stay in this?
Yeah.
But is that good overall, though? That's the question.
I don't think so.
No. So we then got life expectancy. We then got the speed of thought will improve. So we've got the clarity of thought.
Yeah.
And yet we're still here dumbing down species.
Yeah.
Making everybody feel unworthy to live. Making people feel grateful for the very little that they've had. Wait, you should be grateful. What for? Paying all of that money over to those corporations. Come on. Not all of them, but you should feel grateful. You should have nothing and like it. Let's dumb us all down. I tell you, humanity, the possibilities are endless. But when do people come together as a collected world and say, we want to go a different way? And then the leaders that are change makers then, that are authentic, well, my word, they're going to shine through, aren't they? Because they're going to want to make that happen too, yeah? Because that's their role, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yeah.
Isn't that supposed to be what they're there for? So there would be no need for suppression then, would there? No need for shadow banning. No need for hiding people. Because authentic leaders want this.
Yeah.
Then where does that intelligence know no bounds? Well, here at the moment it's there, isn't it? It's not allowed this side and it's not allowed this side. It's only allowed here. You know, with this, with an orbiting star, you know, the one thing that I was thinking about yesterday after I did the video, I was going to add it in, was this would be hesitant to want to rotate, orbit it. Yeah, but you can stop it from orbiting. You want most of the force to come out of here, but strengthen it up so a little bit comes out of here to hold it, so that if it wants to start orbiting this way, then this one fires up, this one closes off, and then when it goes the other way, this one fires off, and you can keep the structure in one piece while accelerating by using a small dwarf to aggravate a larger star. All of that heat is going to be going out. Now, it shouldn't be able to melt through this stuff. It might make it molten in a small time, but again, you can make it a lot bigger. But again, to build a structure like that seems like it's impossible, doesn't it? Yeah, under this mindset, with this version of reality right here, yes, this is not possible because you are in the lacking mindset. It's all about the money. It's not about the people. It's all about how many good people can we keep whilst we get rid of all of these people. Let them die because they're horrible. They're not worthy of anything. We'll get robots to do it. Yeah. No, you got to come from a lot of love for a state where you're in that love for everything. The only way that this would ever happen. And then you're going to need a lot of this process here. Now apply this to gathering resources. Then you're going to need to understand how to break moons. Then you'll need to understand how to break planets. Then you'll need to understand how to break stars. How many stars is it going to take to create that? That's before you get to the fusion process, I am sure. Maybe you'll make a fusion process, but again, it's meaningless. Then defusing. And this can get you to travel very quickly. Incredibly fast, to be honest. You'll probably hit into a lot of things, but there you are. You might make it as fuel. Depends how molten it is. But this will help you travel indefinitely. It's not a perfect fuel source. You can also keep these in one particular place and you can aim that heat at another star. Yeah. You want to make fusion go beyond what you understand it, that any lab will never be able to compete with. Is making quite a few of these
Yeah.
aimed at many different areas of another star, and all of that energy will feed into this one. You are going to give it the heat, and it will need to expand. It equals to pressure. That should make iron a very molten. Again, reaching a viscosity. You want to make it very, very fluidity. This is going to create a hell of an amount of heat. And what's beautiful about it is you can shield it. No one else can see that. You can shield it. You can hide it. These are already hidden anyway. You can move across the universe with one of these. I wouldn't say across the universe, but let's say the galaxy that you are in. You'll hop from star to star very quickly. You know, in the beginning, it takes this much time because you're going to travel at this speed. Then when you reach that destination, then you've got an awful lot of resources collected once you've reached the first, second, third star system and devoured it. Then you've got enough to do that. And by that time, your numbers would have grown. Some their numbers would have grown. With that many numbers, this project is easy. Double it. Who has the biggest life forms in the universe? Who do you think?
I'm not sure. As bugs.
Well, only the rare few, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everything else would probably wanting to blow itself up by going to war. From a perspective, that is just interesting. It's like mass suicide, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you think about it,
Yeah.
you'll say that that's your enemy. They are distant relatives. That's like a family going to war on itself. From a perspective, that is confusing extinction. That is confusing.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
If you take yourself away from that and look back at it and think, what are we doing? More to the point, why the fuck are we doing that? Well, because you're born into a nation where you look at everyone outside your nation as an enemy. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It doesn't.
The resources that will come from this one are incredible. And this seems like a big project, yes? Well, so traveling from one star system to this one took like 3 months, let's say, of the sailing from here to America, yes?
Yeah.
Back in the day, looked like 3 months. When you've got enough numbers and then you create something like this to move, that's then like traveling with a Concorde. What used to take this long, 3 months to travel from one star system to another, now takes 2 hours. 4 hours. And then what happens if you can combine multiple of these together? And then have those in an enclosed system where you force it a bit more and all of that excitement coming out of there. Just by looking at a shooting star. Ooh, it's beautiful. Unlimited energy.
Yeah.
Well, to a degree, you need to switch out the star now and then. It'd be no different from making a train, right?
No. No different.
Oh, the engine's a bit poorly in this. What should we do? Let's chuck away the whole train. Or we'll just switch out the bad bit and replace it with a new bit. It seemed, if you go back to hunter-gatherers and say, One day you'll all be living in houses made with glass, and they will have this invisible wiring to things that will power mobile phones. Did you know also you'll be able to see one person from here while standing over there? You'll be able to wave at someone and see them on the moon using a device just to look at them. How many of them would say that that's impossible? How many? How many would say that that's impossible?
Many.
From hunter-gatherers.
From hunter-gatherers.
This looks impossible, yes?
Yeah, it
does. Does it sound impossible to you? Does it sound like that you could never believe something like that?
No. To me, it sounds more possible than to some hunter-gatherers.
But some people will say that that is impossible, yes? But forget where they came from.
Yeah.
The species that began, and you say to them, you're going to make houses. They're going to have glass. They're going to have energy. It's going to be powered by stations. It's going to be doing this. It's going to be doing that. Wouldn't they be like, I don't know about
that? Yeah.
Did you know that one time there's going to be 9 billion people like yourself walking around here? Did you know that there's potentially going to be 100 billion people out in space?
Yeah.
I'm going to look at you and be like, did you know that there is going... We often count money, don't we? Like it's the most greatest thing on the planet. Hello?
Yeah.
Looking at one another, isn't it life forms that are the most valuable asset on the planet? It's not about more money in a bank. It's about more people. And secondary, which it should be first, actually, there should be more nature. Therefore, more animals, therefore, more food, therefore, more gases exchanging, therefore, more people.
Yeah.
This is what the most valuable thing on the planet is. Not money. What happens when you lose all your numbers? What's money going to do? Nothing. Gold? Silver? Well, it's got its place, I suppose, but... So you're going to be surrounded by doubt, but the bit that should give you some hope or the kick up the arse that humanity needs is look back where you came from. It's no different from what they were told. They believed it and it led to here, now. You're being told it. Where's your belief? Well, it's gone. I'm an atheist. But you still believe. And then collecting a few of these.
Yeah.
It'd be a transportation, having the resources to do it. Then how much more can you do? You start making resources that this universe has never seen before, ever, because you've added pressure, because you've learnt it. What happens when you do this to a black hole? That's what happens when it gets a bit more interesting. What happens when you do this to a black hole? See, again, another question. We're jumping way too far afield, so let's get this first, and then we'll go on to that later on if you get through the checkpoints, let's say. And then we're about to evolve when we reach this moment. And again, with doing all of these things, we'll evolve mentally, we'll evolve spiritually, we'll evolve internally. Our outlook will change. How we view one another will change. Will we start making robots that look more like this? Because we'll understand that process really well. Well, it's actually easier than these bloody humanoid things. Why did they make these humanoid things? Because aliens came. There were aliens that walked on 2 legs. Could you imagine that? But actually, no, it was you and your generation, and even to say it, that you walked on 4 legs maybe at one point. Did you know you were actually moving in a very strange, wiggly sort of way?
Yeah.
We're not just talking about sperm. You swam first, right? So, good swimmers, yeah? And then we get out and see water and we react a bit like monkeys do. They don't like getting water. They have a fear of water. Do you know that? Most monkeys do, primates. Except for the ones in the mangroves. Are they orangutans? No, they're the orange ones. Are they in the mangroves? I'm not sure. Either or. Those... They kind of learn to walk bipedal.
Yeah, some of them live there, yeah.
But yes, so once that changes and humans change slightly, they'll perhaps not look identical to this, but not far from it. And again, because you know that vessel very well, you'll question whether the ones that walk on 2 feet are to be decommissioned, right? And then they'll start looking back at old texts and photographs and Facebook, if they have a newer version then, and look back and be like, what are these? It's conspiracy. They're not us. Those were an alien creatures that tried to take us over and stuff.
Yeah.
They kicked us off of a planet, apparently. Do you think people will come up with conspiracy?
Yeah. Some people always do.
And then you'll find that these might not work as well. And then the next ones will make something a bit more... Because again, the tool will change. The body is the tool. Some say temple. I like that. I actually really do like that with the temple. No, I think that's very nice. But the tool will change. Well, the tool served the purpose here, but bring that onto the planet. Let's all start wiggling to work, shall we? It just doesn't work, right? Let's go in with a tail and try and swim through the environment. It's just not it, right? What about if we go on all fours everywhere? It doesn't work, right?
No.
But then we walk on 2 legs, and it kind of works, yeah. But you're used to it. But whereas before this wiggling process, it worked. It's like a prehistoric version of you saying, "Why don't we make wiggly things?" Oh, I already do. But no, not those kind. You know, this kind. Why don't we make caterpillar humans? So again, I think that once it moves to this, they'll understand that tool very well and know how good it is. That even if they became on the land, they would operate this tool in a very unique way. It'll be quite interesting. So, or again, they might dust off this and put themselves in one of these. Oh man, that would be awesome, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Never mind Tarzan. Become a blob.
Yeah.
A blob with freaking arms. A spider-hoom. A humda. No? A humda? It's like half spider human. No? A handy brain. Hey, well, you know. But it's where you plan to go. Numbers are important. You might make a load of robots and then only have, 1% of the gentry? What are you going to teach it? Control? War games? What else? How to steal? Laws? Then what? Well, you'll make them good battle with one another. I mean, fucking hell. But what would you teach this? Numbers are important. And then if you think that this comes out of 1 human, 2 humans, 3 humans, what about if this was coming out of more humans? And the possibilities. And then the growing on top of that stuff, yes?
Yeah.
Einstein said 0.1% of something. Just 0.1%. Another person comes out and says 0.1% on top of that. But if we're not allowed to question it, not because we want to knock Einstein off of the top step. No, Einstein is a very important part of the process. He's what gets you to hear the religions. These people are not irrelevant. No, very relevant. because it led to a creation of a story that is still being written.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you'll be waiting next week for what? A priest to come and give you Bible verses that you've already memorized?
Mm.
Or one that's coming to tell you about real-time events that are taking place? Which one would you be looking more forward to? Something you already know, or something, what the hell are they making next? This is what keeps people gripped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people, I notice some people like to watch the news.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Because they're trying to look for this new stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the same, you know. I saw it last week. It's almost identical. They're talking about the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I got to watch it, you know. I got to watch. All right then. It would be a great new version of a Bible now, wouldn't it? For the new prints to come out.
Yeah.
How many people would be like, "Woof, this is pretty good. Follows on from this." Oh, right, yeah, I see. There's a correlation appearing here. What? This is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a bit like this. Little bit of small print on the bottom. Yeah, we might change this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll adjust it because it's, you know, it's ongoing life. It's opening. It's like a flower. It's like it's still growing. In this particular person over here doing this, this, and this, which looks like the new way which we can compare to this. And if people are like, yeah, this is more comprehensive, isn't it? Mm-hmm. If you want to go into religion like that. If it's science, it's every day. It's this. It's coming out with more. And then people are adding to it, taking bits away, putting in more. This person created this bit here. Now this person's saying this bit here. Now this person's saying this bit here. When we look at the whole thing, it's now creating a picture like this. These were just pieces of a puzzle. You've got to be able to question it. If you don't question it, you create a limit. And then that is the limit. That is what slows down humans. The limit. If we start living in scarcity mindsets, like people say to me that I'm in scarcity mindset. Fuck yeah, no. I don't think you understand what abundance is, my friend. What do you mean by scarcity mindset? Well, your money and shit. It's scarcity. You're coming from lack. Coming from lack? I think I just need to. I just need to. Let me just clean that camera for you. All right, we're seeing clearly now. Good. This isn't scarcity. I think the whole of humanity is in scarcity mindset. Rare earth minerals, scare. There's flooding, scare. Environment is scare. That is a scarcity mindset. What about abundance? Look up. Wait, it looks so empty. Fucking hell, it's anything but. Oh, but that stuff's all so far away. That's a scarcity mindset. Come on. No, this is abundant. This is abundant. Look at the way it grows. Look at this. Really run away with this. I ain't very much good with maths. But this type of maths I get. And then meeting the resonance frequency of everything. What does that look like? It's a dumb question because I already know what it looks like. Because we see it in reverse, right? We better not eat those animals over there. Why? They got a bit sick. We better not eat those. Well, why not? Apparently it don't mean fuck all, does it? Well, clearly it does. So it's working in the negative, yes, on a lot of things working on this way already. Subject human to this much stuff. Look at how they become. There were some tribes taken and educated in Canada, weren't they? Did they get quite sick?
Aboriginal people.
Aboriginal, yes?
Yeah.
They were kind of made to come over to this culture here, yes?
Yeah.
And they got incredibly sick, yes? And very depressed.
In boarding school, which they couldn't sort of, because they were used to free nature and free space. So
they were used to socialism. God, it's toxic, man. It's very toxic. And that is a scientific. That opens up in front of you. Did they cancel it? Did they cancel the program? Did it stop?
I
Did
don't
they
think.
double down or?
No, it was in some time ago when people did more stuff like that, not just in Canada, but around the world, different stuff like that. Yeah. After a while, they stopped, but it probably took quite some time.
You have a toxic mindset. Well, I think I'll fit right in. I'm sorry. Oh, you'd think I'd fit right in if I was so toxic, wouldn't I? But do people want to be reminded of their toxicity when they're calling it not toxic? Do you think that's the scary part? That when people are in this, they don't like to be reminded that they're living in toxicity.
Yeah.
Because they've spent a lifetime believing that it's the best thing ever. And then
they always
it scares you
it's
to
best.
break that belief system, yes? Because at least I was something in this. I see this with prisoners that come out of jail. They wanted to get back into jail. Honestly, before Shawshank, I never really watched it terribly much. It was more so, you know, we were at home and one day, I don't know, your stepdad's kids come round and want to watch a movie, and this one was mentioned and that one was picked. So, yeah. But I got to experience this firsthand with people leaving prison for they've been in there for such a long time. And they want to go back. Because they belong. They'd lost so much of their life on the outside that they didn't know who they were. They didn't know where they were going to fit. And then that made them go back, and I thought, whoa, this is something. This is quite powerful, this is. But I thought it was a bad... Not because the world had changed, no. But because they didn't fit. They didn't belong. They are something there. Here, they're nothing. That's their words. And they will do anything to get back there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something, isn't it? Again, socialism. Abundance. That is abundance. Although we see it, and who's in prison really? In that mindset.
Yeah.
It looks it from the outside. But both of us are looking outside. So yeah, it's not all doom and it's not all gloom. See, the possibilities are not about possibilities, they're about when you have enough of you, what are those possibilities? And then what is the variety coming back? 240 billion.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that many life forms? And you'll be like, oh, it's too complicated. No. They've gone a long way to find that. Nearly was there in the 70s, I think, 60s, 70s, almost.
Yeah.
Or almost. Okay, perhaps too far into it, I guess. Somewhere there's a balance. But the point, the principle there. 240 billion life forms. Focusing in on collecting a lot of weird and wonderful stuff. But one world of 8 billion is not possible to do if it is all... Well, some are there and some are like really far down there. Not because they want to, but because of that disparity, really, isn't it? Could you imagine what they're bringing in? The opportunities, the breakthroughs, the treatments, the learning, the abundance that's coming, the new stuff that's coming in to your awareness field. There would be so much stuff that one life living in this existence would not be enough to learn all of what is coming in. That is an opportunity that is incredible. Some of the small stuff don't want to do that. Okay, bots will deal with that. Machine, mechanism, that will all deal with that. Wow. Wow, interesting existence is that. And then what are the experimentations looking like? Which then create something even more, how much more happy achievement as one, but many working together to achieve things like this. They all made that breakthrough together.
Yeah.
And all of that comes, that abundance comes. Now they're playing around with things that no other life forms in this universe have ever even comprehended exist.
Mm-hmm.
How does that change their technology? How does that change their understanding? How does that change their weaponry? If, assuming they had weaponry, I very much doubt it, but self-defense mechanisms. If you make something that is nigh on indestructible here, what are you going to do? Go and throw a load of iron at it? What if they've lapped the periodic table 4 times over and have made something so strong that nothing you can create can penetrate it? First off, you would have to understand what it was.
Yeah.
But if you've never made it, never got anywhere apart from this step here, as humans on this same Groundhog Day, what sort of stuff have they created? To protect themselves from anything that you have accepted at default level, that anything at default level that you could hurl at them would not penetrate, because they've made something that is beyond anything you can imagine. I mean, that would already be waving a white flag already, wouldn't you? I wouldn't be waving a white flag. I think that that's a silly hierarchy thing anyway. It would be more like, would you like to join or not? That's really the power of that choice, really, and that there's nothing you can do about it. That if loads of people started wanting to leave and go towards that, then what sort of education, what sort of gases, what sort of elements have you cooked up? And then if you've applied this, how do you not know that there isn't an eternal particle in that waiting to be discovered, and only the ones that reach up to this, which put into this, live the hard life forged in the fire the correct way that it's meant to be understood, create something that when ingested does something,
That's not good, is it?
makes them live a very long time, allows them closer contact with a creator, biome specialist. What do you reckon? Technology that you would never know how to look for the signal,
Yeah.
because you haven't created anything like that, so it's well outside of your belief paradigm. It's over here.
Yeah.
It is undetectable with any instrument that you create from this perspective. You can't intercept it, you can't see it, you can't operate with it, you can't interfere with it. Does this open the door for cloning? And then when we start getting on cloning 240 billion, now let's just say that that is their life forms, times that by 10, that's their bots. And then they're able to clone 240 billion. Would you let go of robotics after that?
Yeah.
If you are able to clone, and then when you start cloning, what are you able to do? Miss certain pieces out? Miss out all that bad stuff that makes up the human? You don't think so? You don't think that you could miss out the bad bits of the human? The shit that just doesn't work?
Yeah.
There's focused cloning. Then there's growth cloning. Then there's enhancement cloning. There's so many variations. Like I said, I can't, in this particular way, I can't make it go in multiple directions for you as I'd like to. If I had the tool to do so, I could make it go further. So I'm limited in this, and I know they've got this technology. I know that this technology is around. So yeah, it would go in multiple directions. So I would be quite a whiz with it. Or I'd show you how to use it. Be like a sandpit to a kid. I'd make that shit fucking expand in many different ways. Interesting, really, isn't it? And how does life then look? What does eternity look like? It all starts with small seeds that are planted, and then you, the species, water them. I know I'd like to live in this existence. Anyway, I'm going to wind this one down, so I'd like to go on more about this, because, the whiteboard isn't big enough. So, if you can just, they're going to start to wind this one down. So, yeah, I would like to go on more. I mean, gee me, this is just 0.1% of a billion Mariana, no, a universe sort of depth. There's more here. This is just, I haven't even dived down very deep. I would like to, but I'm kind of limited in this to go further. It's very hungry work. It's very thirsty. I get very thirsty. And so maybe I'll say that that's it for now. And if I revisit this again, then I'll dive down further. But if not, it's a snippet. But there's a lot more. An awful lot more, which is kind of beautiful. Yep. Still, the mind is stronger and more capable than reality allows you to be right now. Do you see how limited it is this? And this technology helps you to be unlimited. But again, it still doesn't grab the essence of what it means to be human. All right, we can leave that there because, yeah.